All right, let's get started then. So what we're going to talk about a little bit is what branding is. And first of all, I want to know if anybody in this Zoom meeting doesn't know what branding is as far as an organization or a company or anything. Is there anybody here that doesn't know what branding is? Raise your hand if you don't know. All right, everybody knows. Well, meeting over with. Okay, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a PowerPoint that Nick put together. Did you do this when you were president, Nick?
No, we put this together. We put this together this year as the marketing committee. It's part of it, but yeah, I didn't put the presentation together. I put most of the information together. Was done. Matter of fact, it was done prior to when I was president. When I came in president, we implemented the program. But the marketing committee just back in I guess it was November, I think it was, we actually put the presentation that you got together, and it's on the international website as a webinar. So this is fairly new presentation.
So what I'm going to do is just give you an idea of what we're talking about when it comes to what branding is as far as the Optimists go. One thing I do remember when Nick was president of International, he created new logos for every single district and or club that was out there, and that we were to start initiating that worldwide. Let me see if I can host disabled participant screen sharing. Can somebody give me the rights to share my screen? I promise I'll be a good girl. Would that be you, Kathy?
Yes,
I have whoever hosted it.
I had this on. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. So
Okay, there we go.
okay.
All right, so I'm new at this. I've never done this before. So Carolyn tried to help me through it. I was kind of looking this over. So can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody sees this. This is the beginning of the branding and why it matters communications marketing committee. So this is something that Nick put together. What is a brand? All organizations have something called a brand. It's a unique way they stand out in the marketplace. A brand encompasses logo, symbol, logo type, colors, fonts, anything representing that business. So some of these here, you can see here, you recognize a lot of these, the Disney type font, the Amazon, the Coca-Cola, Toyota there, Google, all of these are standardized across their platform.
Well,
And what we have done is we've got some other things here. Some of our partners.
can I jump in here?
I know a lot of people. Sure, you can. Anytime, Nick, please.
Well, going back to that slide, a few famous brands. I mean, everybody knows those brands. Everybody knows Coca-Cola. Everybody knows Facebook. Everybody knows McDonald's, Amazon, Disney, and Apple. And the way that what they have done is they have spread and really made sure that their logo or their branding is everywhere. And of course, branding means more than just the logo. Logo is only one part of it. Branding is how you speak to your public. Branding is even the clothes that are worn. Everything about it. It's really, well, I always call it speaking with one voice. I mean, it doesn't matter where Coca-Cola is, the Coca-Cola logo. McDonald's. It doesn't matter whether you go to one in Paris, whether you go to one in Atlanta, New York, or out in California somewhere, they're all the same. They protect that brand. Every single thing. Branding is also about what people think about you, think about Optimist International. And you remember how many times we have heard the old saying, well, Optimist is the best kept secret. No one really knows who we are. And the reason is because we have not really all come together and really promoted our brand with one voice and that kind of thing. And that's what these companies that you're seeing, that the few famous brands, that's what those companies do. And then Brenda, you go to the next one. We're showing, basically our partners. This is our major competition. You don't see them. You don't see their logo being changed. You don't get to modify their logo. You right off the bat, what a Lions Club looks like. What Rotary, and Rotary just recently, if you see the old logo, which is kind of in the middle, that's the old logo. They have upgraded their logos, and it's similar to our system. They have a system just like we do. So anyway, I just wanted to throw those things in there, Brenda.
Yeah, and to that point, I think I know that a lot of times if you're going through small towns, you can come into city limits and you will see these logos, or I have over the years. I'm sure a lot of other people have too, that they're a Lions Club or a Rotary Club, which I don't ever recall seeing an Optimist logo coming into a small town. So I'm sure that a lot of people that have these, he's right. These are familiar to me going back to my childhood. They pretty much don't ever change because they, stay the same throughout. So those are just some of our, actually some of our competition and partners right out there, right?
Yes.
So, so now when you look at this, you can see right off the bat, and everybody here probably knows which one is right, correct? The Starbucks logo here. The green lady down in the bottom right, you're never going to see Starbucks on that, like that lady on their cup. Maybe on St. Patrick's Day, but that right there is automatically when you see that sign that there's a Starbucks around, or they're promoting that logo.
And to throw in a little bit, see what would happen. Do you think would happen to the Starbucks if they were allowed? See, most of those are franchisees. They don't get the choice to change, to do whatever they want. Like once, well, I like kind of like purple, or I like pink. No, they have to use that particular logo. And if they do not use it, if they do not use, you go into a Starbucks, they look the same no matter where you are, no matter where they're located. And it's, again, they're protecting their brand.
Right. And that's just one. And the next one here, has anybody in here ever seen a blue Coca-Cola? I don't think so. It's always red worldwide. And Nick was telling me today that this Coca-Cola is a certain color of red. It's a mixture of the ink that the printers have to use. If it's off one bit, Coca-Cola will refuse it. So that it's always that color.
Well, it's just like, for instance, and if you don't mind me jumping in here again, is you remember the great years ago when Coke was doing away with classic Coke, and came out with new Coke, and you remember the uproar that happened over that? I mean, people went freaked out over that because they were changing their brand, they were changing the formula, and against they brought it back, and they were accused of orchestrating that, which to this day they swear they did not. Going back to what Brenda said about the Coke Red, I'll give you another little example. There was a firm here in Atlanta a number of years ago that were taking old Coke machines, the ones you used to go in and you had the lever and you pulled the little door open. Well, they had, Coke had long abandoned those machines. So this small company, was taking those machines, refurbishing them, repainting them and everything. And I mean, they were absolutely beautiful, selling for thousands of dollars, for somebody using their man cave or whatever and things like that. He got the little company got a cease and desist letter from Coca-Cola, and that was what Brenda was referring to, because they weren't using the proper color. Because even though the machines did no longer belong to them, that was their brand and their logo, and if you weren't doing the right color, you couldn't sell the machines. Now, I don't know what happened after that. I'm sure they worked it out, but there is a special formula for the Coke Red. So like this, for instance, and the reason I put that blue up there, when we went in Reno, I actually saw a Coca-Cola on the side of a building. Somebody had painted an advertisement for Coca-Cola, and it was in the blue like that. That's what, and I know if Coca-Cola had seen that, they would have got a little message, because you don't do it in Coke Blue. There is no Coke Blue. So anyway, sorry about that.
Is there anything that they can legally do when somebody does something like that without?
Oh, they can
without-
make you. It's their logo. It belongs to them, and they
It's
can
a
make.
registration
They
and a
can make them
copyright.
repaint that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's what the cease and desist. They were, you get that letter, and I've dealt with a number of clients over the years that infringed on somebody's logo. Well, we got same thing with Disney. One time, we actually they put a Disney logo into a newsletter. There's a client of mine, and they got a cease and desist because they had not asked permission to use Disney's logo. So the companies like that are very, very protective of their brand.
right. Okay, so some of the things here when you're looking at this, and I think this is pretty much things that have kind of stuck through the ages as far as the optimists go. At least I remember, their slogan was always the friend of youth. The mission, and I think this has been the same throughout too, is providing hope and positive vision. And optimists bring out the best in youth, our communities, and ourselves. So we have a brand promise. Optimists bring out the best in our youth, our communities, and ourselves. The slogan, friend of youth, a tagline, bringing out the best. And we say that a lot I use that a lot in hashtags, bringing out the best in kids. So these are kind of our identity that goes along with what our optimist is. So our most visible brand asset right now, these are the ones that are most current. We see Optimist International right here, and then we see the round logo with the Optimist International. So sticking with this going forward is what we're trying to keep consistent, instead of the next thing where Nick has it here. It's a brand identity crisis. There's so many logos that have been created over the years that it's kind of hard to tell. I know this Optimist right here, the best, that was what we were using for our club when we first started. I'm not even sure, where did these originate from?
Well, if you don't mind me hopping in here, this was a part of a presentation that I made to the board of directors when we were making the marketing committee was making a proposition to upgrade our logo. And this is just a few logos that were just in the Southeast region. And the question I asked the board, if a stranger looked at if we look at this and say, okay, where's the Optimist International logo? Well, you say it's it's up in the right-hand corner or down in the right-hand corner. That's the official logo. But the general public would have no idea which is the proper logo. And see, all these other logos were developed by districts or presidents. They came up with their own logo. We stick a little bit of OI in there or whatever, and it confuses the public, because as you can see, the question is, what is the official logo of Optimist International? And so the program, or what we're trying to do now, is to make sure that when the general public looks at us and sees our logo, they know exactly who we are, no matter whether it's a club, whether it is a district, or whether it's Optimist International. And so we developed this system, which Brenda's going to talk about in just a minute or two. We developed this system to allow our clubs and allow our districts to better fit the logo into what they're trying to do, because sometimes a logo does not fit exactly on a shirt or whatever. So that's why you got this. We developed a system.
Here, I guess here's some more that's been out there. I've seen some of these in other Optimist club, that I don't know if this is somewhere where you know, here we got brown, we got purple. And I'm sure it's just because somebody liked it and just created that logo for their own club, right, Nick?
Yes, well, well, you're trying to do a Halloween thing, so you write Optimist International in orange and some kind of spooky kind of copy. That is not,
Right.
should not be allowed. That is not proper. I mean, you can
Right.
use other fonts or whatever, but the fact of the matter, you don't mess with the Optimist International. We have a symbol and we have a font, and first of all, you never do them separately. The the symbol and the wording go together. That's why we came up with the roundel, because it incorporates everything. But no matter when you use a logo, Optimist International should always be with it. So this is just some ideas, some people came up with, oh, well, I like this type font or whatever. That's not appropriate.
And these right here, we have to alleviate totally. I mean, we've got to start sticking with the things that's been created. When this comes right behind here, we also have brand colors and fonts, which gives the breakdown of the different colors that are used, like within this logo, the blues, the golds. This is kind of a gold. This is kind of a light yellow. And there are certain brand colors and fonts that have to be used. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with a lot of fonts and stuff, but it needs to always be in Calibra, light, bold, italic, because that is the chosen family.
And the reason those fonts were chosen is because most of those fonts are included in PCs and Macs. You don't have to go out and buy a special font. And for instance, most of our stuff is done in Calibri, and we also use Helvetica New. Well, Helvetica New may not be on everyone's computer, so my brain just misfired here.
Substituted with Arial or something.
Arial, because everybody has Arial, and Arial and Helvetica New are similar. So
yes.
The idea is to not hamstring anybody, make them go out and have to buy fonts and all that kind of stuff. We've tried to use things that are already on people's computer. As Brenda was saying about the colors, the colors over to the left, those are the official colors of our logos. Those are and we've got, not only do we have PMS colors, we have CMYK colors, and we have RGB colors. So all the formulas that you might need, whether you're doing it online, whether you're taking it to a printer, all those different formulas are there for you to use and to give to whomever, like you said, if you go into, like we said, we go into a printer or whatever, that they can use those colors. The colors to the right are complementary colors. What we're trying to do here is these are colors that work good with the logo system we came up with. So these are the colors, and you don't have to be exactly, but this blue, the yellows, the light blue, the gray, those would be the types of shirts and things you would use. Like, for instance, I was noticing at our district conferences last weekend, they had a gray, the kind of that, the fourth down, the gray, we had our, which looked very nice, but these work well with our logo colors. That's why we're suggesting using those. So you don't use pink or purple or those kind of things. What we're trying to move toward is so that we all begin to look the same. If you go to the Tucker Optimist Club, they're doing an event, you see them in similar colors that North Perimeter or Sawney Cumming or whatever. So everybody began to say, oh, those are Optimists over there. That's an Optimist Club. So that's the reason for this color system.
Right, and to stick with the font. And if you wanted to get shirts printed or any type of printed material, CMYK and RGB is probably a little bit more known across the industry. CMYK is a mixture of colors of Pantones that breaks down into a cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And a printer will know what that means if you give him that mixture. So, and a lot of times you can almost sample some of those things too. When you're looking, there's color coded charts that you go straight to it and you'll see PMS 286 on a color wheel. And a printer knows exactly what the breakdown is of that with the CMYK color. So that speaks on that. So now what we've got is we've got these branding logos here, and we got a horizontal and a stacked. So it depends basically on what you're using it. Is it a letterhead? Is it a small space that the circle is going to fit around? Is it a t-shirt on the back where you could use Optimist International? There's 100 of these out there. I shouldn't say 100, but close to, of any type of way that you might need it for whatever you're printing. We've got the standard here, international. We got our district. So if you look here, this is just the recognizable OI. Here we've got the district. Here we've got the North Perimeter Club. So you've got the same branding going throughout, and all you're changing down here is just your North Texas District, North Perimeter Club. But they all look the same. It just distinguishes one from the other. Then here's another example. I don't know that I need to show you every one of these, but we've got the stacked, again, the same way. You know, you're looking at this where it's horizontal, this is stacked. So the OI logo is on top of it instead of to the side. Then we have the rounded logo. Now, every club out there has their own logo. So there's really no excuse in using old logos anymore. These are free to every club. And I was going to try to show you where they were, but I can't get into the website because it's down still. It comes up, but I can't navigate over to the where the logos are.
Yeah, I spoke to them right after this afternoon after you and I spoke, and they're having a terrible problem. Well, as the person I talked to said, it's broken. They said it's broken, and they're working like crazy to get it back up. So, but it is down. So,
Nick, it's a hardware issue, and they've I guess they bought a new server, and they're still in the process of getting it installed. And Tom Carver went home to get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, I know they've been working like crazy
for a while. Gotcha. What I'll do though is once they get that up and running, I'll send out an email to everybody that's here tonight that don't know where to go and find their own logos. It's listed by your club number, and it'll have stacked, horizontal, rounded, I think is what the name of it is. And you can get various types of logos. You can get PDFs, you can get JPEGs, and you can get vector files, which are EPS files. And a lot of people don't know what that means in printers jargon, but Nick does, obviously. When you are printing things on a colored piece of paper, or even if you're doing a flyer, just say you're doing the yellow background or something, and you have a PDF of your club logo, you're going to have a white background because it's not a vector file. A vector file is basically line art, where Photoshop is a JPEG. It's actually a picture. A vector file has literally been drawn by an artist and the type put in. So those things will be easily explained better if I can show them to you once we go, through the website.
There's a little. Well, this is what I usually say. If you're going to print it, whether it's on a banner, on a piece of paper, on a brochure, whatever, you use EPS files, because now you can't open them. A lot of people say, well, I can't open it. Well, the reason most people can't open it is because like Brenda and I we have specialized software that open those kind of files, but your printer can open those files and and handle those files. That gives you the sharpest. It could be the size of a wall, and it'll be just as sharp down to the size of a quarter, and anywhere in between. PNG and JPEGs are primarily for using online and on the web. So when you're doing stuff like, Facebook, web pages and things like that, that's where that artwork comes in. So it's just a little easy thing to remember is that the EPS and the vector, which is called a vector art, as Brenda said, is for printing and for things like, like I said, banners, all that kind of stuff, because you want the sharpest type of thing. But the others can be used, that's for online, all kinds of online applications.
And usually they're lower res too.
Right, they're low res.
These EPSs aren't super, super high res. They're just created line art, so they're very sharp and more precise. Okay, moving on here. I guess there's some incorrect use of the logo here, all of these. Now this to me, and you can correct me if you want to, this looks like it's skewed to me. Am I correct there?
Down, sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, they've been distorted. So when you look at it, you can see that it's not the same look horizontally and vertically that it should be. It's like somebody has taken it and stretched it. So, and you've seen a lot of people do that too with pictures. Yeah, I know Russell Thomas is good for that. Is that what you're raising your hand about?
No, but I got a question also for you.
Okay.
I think probably, we look at some cool examples of what is. That's what you're getting ready to take us through is some of these examples of what's not appropriate. And all of us have had that problem up to and including our Optimist International. We've been trying to get that better as we move forward. But, I like to always point something out that's real time. If we look at Nick, and this is more for you, probably the question. If we look at David Harder's background right now, and we see that Optimist Club and that 100 on there, is that not a good example of a bad example of how we can use our logos? You see David there?
Yeah, I see it. And I think that's just the background because it's a visual thing right now.
But I mean, it's our logo on there. And it's when you say it's not appropriately used from what our requirements are. Nick, what do you think?
I can't see his.
Get into view mode and then and do a gallery or side-by-side gallery.
Oh, well, you know how I am.
He's got that 100 logo on there. When we turned 100 years old, it's got the 100.
Well, that's not an inappropriate way to use it, because you see it is part of the 100, but it was designed specifically for a specific and that is allowable in because a lot of corporations do it. And what we basically did is just take in one of the O's and put the roundel in there, but we did not modify the roundel or whatever. And that's a special use, one-time special use, because we were celebrating our 100th anniversary.
But would that have had to go through?
That's a visual. What they've done is they've lined up an Optimist Club and they spread out 100, whoever the designer was, to make that all fit in that vertical or horizontal type.
Yeah, gallery. Let me see gallery. I don't know where to.
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
Yeah, I thought when we put it out, it probably wasn't a fair representation of our branding rules. And I guess what I was thinking is that if we could use it like that, I don't know why a club wouldn't think that they could put do their own like that instead of 100. Make it we're 50 years old and put 50 and the Optimus roundel in there. So it just seems to me like in order for us to be talking apples and apples, is that we would probably want to ensure that that the clubs, before they publish something, is reviewed by maybe a branding specialist or something. Because I couldn't tell you today whether it was appropriate or not, but I know it doesn't look like the identified examples of what the Optimist logo should look like.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, if it's just not the screen you're seeing on the Zoom. It does look a little distorted, but that 100, I can tell that when they designed it, it was supposed to fit underneath the Optimist Club 100 and whatever that says underneath that. I can't read it.
Did
Yeah,
you
it's
find it?
Optimist.
Did you find it?
No, I have
I
not.
mean, because I don't think what you're saying is a one-time use for a club to do an Optimist brand logo is appropriate. I think what we're saying is to do a Optimist logo, it needs to follow the rules of what Brenda's just brought us through. This is
Right.
what it has to look like.
Right. No,
Okay.
you're correct. I mean, and what we really want people to do is to run it through, I guess you might say well, in our case, run it like if you were going to do something in the Gateway District, you would run it by Brenda. And, hopefully you would look at the guidelines, but if you were saying, well, we'd like to do something like this, that you would run it by somebody like Brenda and say, is this appropriate? Is this something we can do?
Yeah.
And whatever, because that's what we've got it. We tried to ease everybody into this and it hasn't worked. So now we're trying to up the game here and really, and part of it is Optimist International's fault because we have not reached out. We have not trained people on it. We have, we just kind of allowed it to, as well, here's the guidelines, go to the website or whatever. Now we're trying to push it. So we're actually talking to people about it because a lot of clubs don't even know it exists. The branding guidelines exist.
Right. Yeah.
So are you not able to do an all white one?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Yeah, there's on the website, there are reversed, what they call reversed white ones. There are black ones and blue ones. We're not saying everything has to be printed in color like this one is, or like this
Right
was
now,
shown.
Carolyn's background is a blue, and it's pretty close to the Optimist blue. Everybody's screen's going to have different colors. I can tell you that much. And she's got a white background on Optimist for the logo.
Right.
Everything is white.
Right.
And that's fine because the shirts you had printed for us, Carolyn, for the golf were blue with a white, correct?
Yeah, they were gray with, well, we did different ones, but yeah.
Yeah,
Everything I got
white is
off my-
white is acceptable.
Yeah,
white is
everything I got off the website, so.
Yeah, exactly. So here, moving along here, it says, let the logo breathe. There again, that's what they're saying is don't be trying to squish it or stretch it this way and squat it that way. Make sure your logo and designs you leave sufficient space so that it's not encroached by any other elements. The general rule is the minimum free space around the logo should be equal. So the equal part would be the width of this or the circumference of that, I guess, would match this going up and down. So it looks pleasing to the eye. Then we go to, let's see. Well, there it is. The appropriate background. Nick kind of touched on this a few minutes ago. You don't want to use black. You know, it's either you do the blue. There it is right there, Carolyn. The blue and the white. Optimist International and the logo in white. The logo should be placed on a background which does not interfere with its recognition. So you don't want to do something like this. Obviously, that's just ugly.
You
can't
want
even see
you
it.
want contrast. You want
Yes.
contrast. And so again, we have made in this set of logos that you're going to be provided with. We've given you different. Well, you can see here in some of the things she just Brenda's getting ready to bring up here as how it's used. Sometimes you white on a dark background. Sometimes you might use just blue. We've got all those logos are figured in with when you go to download them, your club logos. They're already. This is just showing you examples.
Yeah, sample uses. See, but the color of the shirts or the hats. There's some more clothes. Excuse me. This is nice. I mean, it's got all of our colors in there. So you got a good variety of the way you can do it. Same with the coffee mugs. I think most of the coffee mugs, even that we get from Optimist International, are blue with the white on it. I'm choking over here. What's this? Pad folios. Explain this one, Nick. I'm not sure what that is.
Well, what we were just given some examples of the kind of things we use, like these portfolios, kind of showing you the different choosing different colors and how you would apply the logo. You might,
Goes to
like,
it.
for instance,
Okay.
there's some, I know that President Bob handed out some, and he just used the round right in the center. We didn't show every single way of doing it, but kind of given an idea of how you could apply the logo. How do you apply it to pencils and pens and that kind of thing, just to give you an idea of how to use it and how to use the different colors. These are just, like I said, these are examples. And so, because see, what has happened to our organization is that we would give them a specialty advertising company, which, you know, ours is Shumsky's in the United States, and they would just come up with a whole bunch of things, applying our logo to it. And what we're now trying to do is be more, aggressive in saying, no, this is the way we want our logo
Right.
displayed on different items, rather than let just have.
We tell them what we want rather than them just trying to design and change the whole
Right,
thing. Just
definitely.
stick with the basic format.
Right.
Pretty much. Okay.
And again, these are just different ideas about hats.
Okay, yeah. And then we've got some on vinyl. You can see here, this is like a window decal. So that would definitely show up on that, I think. This right here is like the vinyl. We have one of these in our club. With some of the big banners that we have. Some more samples there. Here's some more samples here. That keeping with the colors and stuff.
And these are some
Okay.
actual ads and flyers and things that clubs have done. And what we did is to kind of show how the logo could be interjected into, you know, put into them appropriately.
Okay, now I was looking over this earlier and I want you to explain this because I didn't see from this to this. Can you tell me what's different? Because I did not see it.
Well, what is different, if you look down and this is a typical thing that a club, this is something an actual club did, and you see down in the corner, they have the old Blair, Optimist, this Blair Optimist Club. This is the logo. So what was done is it's the second was from, it says from this to this. The second
Here.
one has
There.
the official stacked logo.
Gotcha.
Now it's
gotcha,
all
gotcha.
kind of crammed in there, but we didn't do this design. This is a layman's design, but showing the
Right.
proper use of the logo and how the logo would fit in there.
I see that now. So this was a logo that they just threw in there themselves as opposed to the correct
This is the
logo of
logo
their
they should
club.
have used.
Right, gotcha. Okay, okay. All right, same way here from this. I'm sure I'm missing this one too.
Well, what
but-
they're saying here, see, they used the little round roll logo up there, and you can hardly read it. You go down to the second one, they use the horizontal, and you can actually read it.
Okay, right here,
Yeah.
and up
right.
here, it's just a little bitty one. I
Yeah,
see what
it's
you're
a little
saying.
teeny thing. And again, that's why we had the logo system developed, so that for different situations, you didn't have to cram a logo in there. You could use the system. They come from the same the same system. So, the same colors, the same shape of the logo and whatever, but for different uses, because sometimes, a rounder doesn't work in every situation. And sometimes
right
the
here, you can't-
horizontal doesn't work in every situation.
You can't read the name of the club here, where here you can, or here
Right.
you
Yeah,
can.
that's what that's supposed to show. Yes.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
these are actual things that have been produced by clubs. It's not something that we came up with.
Okay, so is this a go or a no-go? Anybody tell me? Does that look proper to you?
If it's for a West Missouri district,
Do you think
Yeah.
that's sticking with the standard that we should be using? I mean, it looks like it is to me.
Yeah,
I
it's got,
think
it's using the proper colors. It's using the proper
Right.
logo with the West Missouri District on.
Missouri.
Again, this is something that was actually done. As a matter of fact, we actually improved on their thing. This is an actual thing that was used in West Missouri to promote this particular program.
But
Okay.
Nick, you
Um,
told us to use a light background when you're using the color logo.
Light background. Here, is that what you're talking about, Albert?
Yeah, you told us to use a light background and this is a dark blue background.
No, that's the Optimist blue though, and
Yeah,
that's
but
acceptable.
it's a blue background, but the contrast still works. I mean, there's different things. I mean, there is some leeway here. I mean, that logo still pops even though we have a dark background. And of course, they wanted the reversed out copy and whatever. But I mean, it still works because the logo does. You can still read the logo, and the logo, the logo doesn't meld into the background because you've got the gold. Now maybe they could have used just the white logo.
Hey, Nick, did you ask them what individually wrapped snake cakes are?
No, I did not.
Ask them what?
Individually wrapped snake cakes.
Well, actually, this looks nice too because it kind of complements the Kids Harbor. It's almost the same color
Right.
here too. So that's a nice looking flyer or whatever was created.
See, one of the things before we go further, one of the things when you look at it, if you can read it, if it pops off from the page, you're probably right. I mean, certainly, yes, when you use the color logo, you want to use usually you want to use a lighter background. But in some cases, if you look at it and the logo is popped, and it's, you can easily read it or whatever. I mean, you can manipulate a little bit here. It's really what looks good and that you can read it. And that particular this particular situation, you can read that logo really well. It's the Optimist International, and it's the West Missouri District in it. And so in a case like that, so you have to go by case. It's not just one strict rule. Well, all color logos have to go on light background. If it works, it's and that's something you learn as you go along. So, but that in this particular case, it works.
Yeah, and I think the
So-
main thing is just keeping with our
So Nick-
logos, and the branding is the biggest thing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Somebody's-
so if we look at the example that's on the Optimist International West Missouri District, there's really only a couple changes that we could do that and use the logo appropriately, right? So we could put that round drill in there, and we could say West Missouri District, or we can say Sonny Coming Optimist Club, where Western Missouri District is. But we can't say, serving the children of Missouri in that
No.
logo, right? Because that would break the branding. So
No,
Right.
you could not put that in the logo. No.
Yeah,
either
that's
say
a good
Optimist
point.
International in the logo, West Missouri District, or Sonny Coming Optimist Club,
Right.
right?
That's
Anything other
the
variation.
appropriate. Yeah, you're exactly
Any
right.
variation other than that then would not be appropriate. Okay. Because, I know when I first started, I was doing all sorts of things with these things, which would probably account for somebody doing everything wrong, which was me, because I would put stuff in there that, you might have said, come to dinner to Optimist International in that
Right.
logo, in that round part. So, okay, that's great. This is great.
Yeah, and the nice thing about too, when you look up here, it's got the international branding here, and then it's incorporated here in the name of that particular district. And apparently this is a district function, not just the club function. So that's where you would interchange them out. So go ahead.
See, I do not, and most of you will find me, I do not use the OI. Nobody knows what OI means. I mean, I
Right.
know it's long, except people in our organization. So saying OI, so as a matter of fact, years ago, we tried to get out of the habit and we couldn't do it across the board. I don't write OI. I don't like to say OI. I say Optimist International because, we're not like, it's like when you going down the road and you see the golden arches, that's McDonald's. They don't even have to put the wording up there. If you see the big IBM letters, exactly what that means. Other than our own organization or people like probably in the Sawney Cumming community, because y'all do so many activities, and Tucker the same way. People will probably know if you say OI or whatever. But like in where I live, North Perimeter, they have no idea what OI means. So the whole idea here is that with every time you use that symbol, the OI symbol, it has to have either wrapped around it like the roundel or stacked under it or in horizontal that says Optimist International. It is never appropriate to use just the symbol.
Simple.
The
Gotcha.
octagon with the OI in it. That's not acceptable. It always
Gotcha.
has to be in that form.
Well, here's the resources right here at the end of this slide where you can find your logos. Club logos are on the main leadership login club roster screen. So here we talked about the EPS, the JPEGs, the PNGs are different graphic types. Other logos, you can go here. But that's right, you have to be logged in as a member in order to get your club logo, right? Except that you can go here too. Nick, is that
right?
Correct. Okay. So here's something here that I could just probably copy that and send that to you guys, or just send you a copy of the whole PowerPoint thing. Is I think would be great for somebody, one person at least in each club, to have a copy of this.
See, the brand guidelines that you saw there, I mean, they were developed so that you could go in. You don't have to take the whole book. You go in, like if you're a club and you want to get some business cards made or letterhead or whatever, or get your logo. You can go in and just copy that particular page and use that. You can take that to your printer and say, look, I want some business cards printed up. Here is, this is the way they need to be done. You give them the information, and normally they have the typesetting or the font setting or whatever that you can use. Now, one of the things that, some of you probably know, we have the Pro Shop where you can actually go online and you can get your stationery, you can get your business cards. We set up a deal with Vistaprint so that you can order things like that without having to go to your printer. But the guidelines has all the information on that page to help you talk to your printer or whomever you want to, if somebody's going to print your logo or whatever, that you can actually just, you don't have to download the whole book. You can, of course, I would advise you to download the book, keep it on your computer so you can go look at it when you are thinking about, well, I want to do this, or, on business cards, or I want to do a banner, or I want to, get some shirts printed or whatever. So they give you an example. They give you an example of what you can do. So that at least you'll have something to go by, rather than just sort of have to wing it.
Right. Okay. Well, one thing I did want to share, that's pretty much the end of it. Does anybody have any questions before I kind of show y'all a couple of things here and then we can wrap this up?
I actually have, I always seem to have at least one more question, but so if we think about the autonomy of our clubs, and we think about the districts, which are in direct relationship to Optimist International, how do we make the transitional move from, and Nick, this is for you and Brenda both, how do we make the move from getting our clubs to move toward that branding when, some of these clubs might have thousands of dollars into t-shirts and things and into logos and letterhead and stuff. How do we make that and then impress them upon the importance of the branding to them to get them to do it?
Well, here's what was done when I came in as president, what we told everybody, and we didn't push it, but I think we need to push it. I'm not telling everybody that they got to take, like, okay, let's just say that the Sony Optimist Club has got shirts with the old logo on it. Okay. We're not telling you to throw those out. But when you start having new shirts made, when you get, some new members come in, or you decide, your shirt's torn or it's gotten, because it's been washed so many times or whatever, you want to get new shirts. Then is when you put the new logo on it. You don't have to throw everything away. If you've got, for instance, you've got a stack of letterhead that you spent money to get printed, we're not saying throw it all out and print new. I mean, we're supposed to do this about 5 or 6 years ago. That was what we were supposed to do. We're saying use up your old stuff and get new stuff printed. We're not asking you. It's just like, but like, say, for instance, if you're a golf tournament, if you've got a banner that you've been using, we're not asking you to throw away that banner. But if you get a new banner made or whatever, then you would use the new logo. That's because we're not trying to be from a financial standpoint, cause a club's financial problems by our saying, my God, I got to throw everything away. Now, if we were true to corporate, they would have everything would have to be tossed away, and we'd have to you all use the new logo. But that's what we're trying to do, is get clubs to, instead of just calling up and ordering a new shirt with the old logo on it, it was going to cost you probably a little money from a setup standpoint, because you're going to send them the new logo, and then from now on, because this logo is not going to change. I can promise you, for quite some time, because a lot of effort went into this thing. And I think it stood the test of time. We just got to get more people using it. And here's the other thing, clubs in essence are a franchise of Optimist International. That is our logo is a registered logo. You use it because you are a part of this organization. And that's one of the things you're allowed to use, the logo, but we're not, how do I put this? We're beginning to get tougher on it, but at the same time, we're a little bit different organized than, like, say, Coca-Cola and McDonald's and organizations like that. So we're trying not to be too heavy-handed. So that's why we're trying to do these presentations and things like this and I think most clubs, they're not interested they're interested in a logo, but if we give them the information and tell them what to do, I think most of them will fall in line. But I'm not asking you to throw everything away.
Right.
Did I answer your
Brenda.
question?
Yes.
Brenda, is the color standards out on the OI website too? The ones that show the correct blues, the correct golds?
The PMS, yes, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, they should be there. They probably in your leader login thing, but we can look for where that is.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure where it is, but I'm sure it's on there too,
If
right?
you go to
Nick?
the marketing and public relations, it will say branding guidelines. You click on that, open up, it gives you all that, all the
colors
formulas,
and
the color
fonts and everything. Okay. So I don't know if everybody, I brought these to the last 2 conferences, and I brought 4 or 5 of these and passed them out to a few clubs. So I'm not sure who got them, but Nick asked me to try to create some new membership stuff, or actually Bruce did. And that's why I decided to set up a few things that we could pass out, because like our club, we've got a hodgepodge of just stuff that we've collected over the years. It needs to be trashed and get more. I mean, we still probably have some stuff out there that has old logos on it, but I created this here because from my perspective, when I ask them if they've ever heard of Optimist International, do you know what an optimist is? They don't know what it is. And so when you're trying to explain to them who we are and what we do, that's why I decided to just create this generic that is good for any club in our district or any club anywhere. It tells you what we are an organization of, and that we're bringing out the best in children and the communities. And then here we have our Sony Coming Optimist logo here for our own club.
Brenda,
Going to the second one here, what I decided to do was
Brenda,
put some, yes.
we're not seeing what you're seeing, so you need to
Well,
unshare that
somebody-
screen and share, unshare that screen and share your next screen.
Okay, how do I do that?
Go down there and
Merge.
just say unshare,
New share?
do unshare and then share the next screen.
Can you see it now?
Yes,
There we
ma'am,
go.
we can.
Okay, all right, so that's, here's where I'm sorry, thanks, Carolyn. So I was just talking to Arrow here.
Yeah.
So I created this trifold. Here's the Optimist International, talks about who we are. Here's our Sony Coming Optimist logo. And here we go, went with the branding, Optimist International up here, who Optimist International is, and then introduced our club here. And when you open up the trifold, I chose some of the bigger international programs, you know, your scholarship, your Respect for Law, your Junior Optimists, your Joy Clubs. And then over here, I made it so that we could change this out for other clubs, what your particulars are. You know, ours is expressing my passion, the Mentor Me program, the CHOA fundraiser golf tournament, our star student, and then our big flags for education. And then going back to here, once you go to the back of it, this last page over here with the guy and the girl is standing, you could change that out. And then of course our Optimist creed. It just told me my internet connection is unstable. Are y'all seeing me still?
Yeah.
Hello.
So
breaking
you
up.
only froze for a moment.
Okay. And then the nice thing too is when you're talking to somebody right here, you can reel them in and give them an application. So that's just one of the bigger things, you know, we did the new member certificate. This is just part of the new thing where we've got the purposes of it. And of course, when they become a member, you can give them this nice little frameable
Certificate.
membership thing, certificate. This I pretty much took right off of the international site and just put the Gateway District here. So it could be particularly for the Gateway. Again, the creed tells a little bit more about our contest we do. And then this here was the letter that we created for the Gateway District from Governor Bruce. This is available in a Word format so that when you send it to somebody, you can personalize it with their name. And Bruce, I'm not sure, is this coming from the district now when a new member joins?
Brenda, what we're
correct?
doing, and with Nick's help, for new members, they are getting this via email. Nick's monitoring our new members, sending that via email.
When a new member joins and I get a CRA, I take it and send this out to them. And what we're doing is we're saying, you know, the Gateway District welcomes you. We send this out from from Governor Bruce, and of course we personalize it with their name. And then initially we didn't do it, but now we're also sending a copy of it to their sponsor, so the sponsor knows that the district is sending out a welcome letter to every new member. So that is being done as they come in. As soon as I get them, I try to send it out almost immediately.
Okay, so closing here, if anybody is interested in doing these, I'm offering my time. You send me just the information here that you want to change this out. You've got 2 whole panels here. I can get the logos for your club. I can do everything that you need to hear your dues and where you guys meet if you're interested. The same with the new member certificate. What I'll do is provide you a nice PDF and you guys can print it out on your club printers, or you can take it to a printer and run off copies. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm about done here. Governor Bruce, you got anything? Nick, y'all got anything else?
I would just say, you know, one of the comments we sometimes get from clubs is, you know, what does the district do for me or for the club? And this is a good, clear example. If we can get the word out, hey, we've got a marketing expert at the district level. We put this information together for you. We've made it easy for you. Only thing we need to do is just get you to give us the information. We'll provide you with really a first-class packet that you can use for recruiting and also new members. So,
Yeah, and I'm open to recreate or to create more stuff. If anybody's got some good ideas, these are the things that me and Robin and Carolyn had put a lot of this together already for our club. And I just kind of incorporated a lot of it. So, you know.
Yeah, we've just got to figure out how to get the word out. And that's going to take a lot of effort. Other thing I would say is, you know, as we see examples of when the branding is not correct, you know, that could be an indication that the club is not aware that we have branding standards now. And, you know, that might be an opportunity for us to, you know, in a friendly way, remind them that there's a resource out there for them so they don't have to create everything. So it's just going to take time. It's like turning a battleship. It's going to take time. And I think our OI marketing team has done a great job in putting this together. And we've got everything we need. We just got to execute.
Yeah, and once those sites get up, I'll send the instructions on how you people can access your club's logos via the internet once they've got everything up and running. I don't mind sending that out. Or what I can do, Bruce, is send it to you and you can put it in that weekly newsletter and let them know that I've got this stuff available to some of these clubs that might not come to the district and not even know about it. So
that would be great. Even sending samples of what we've got would be great.
Exactly. Yeah, could do that.
And
All
one
right.
other thing we could do is, particularly from lieutenant governors and leadership, when you're meeting with clubs and when you're talking to them, refer them to the marketing, you know, to Brenda, and I'm certainly gonna help her as much as I possibly can. I don't want to load her up, but you know, if they want to ask a question about how to use their logo, if they you know, if they're thinking about using it a certain way to run it by the district or run it by Optimist International's marketing committee, you know, and we'll help them get it in, you know, get it. Either we'll say, yeah, that's okay, or we'll say, look, what if we do it this way to, you know, to help them, because that's what we're here for, is to help them.
I got one more question if I could ask it.
No, you're done.
I know that we had that marketing kit that we got that came from OI some time ago. Nick, is that marketing kit for the clubs still available? And
that marketing kit is still available. If somebody wants it, we will, you know, I'm still willing to produce it.
How do we find out what's included?
I'm sorry?
How do we find out what's included
there a
in that?
price
Well,
on
well, I don't want to take Brenda's
Go
thunder
ahead.
here,
Go
but
ahead.
send me an email and say, Nick, I'm interested in the district marketing kit, because this did not come, well, Optimist International has been shown to Optimist International. They like the kit or whatever. The hope in the future that we will have something like that, but you send an email to me, say, Nick, I'm interested in the kit. I will send you samples so you can see what you get in the kit. And then we can, if you want to move forward, we have tried not to charge a lot of money for it at this particular point in time. The banner is going to cost you probably about the banner, which you saw one of the banners, or our banner, my club's banner. Those banners I think cost around $40, because I buy them through a distributor so instead of being a couple of $100 or whatever, they cost you about 40, somewhere in between 35 and $40. We're trying to do we're trying to make the kit just as inexpensive as we possibly can, and help you get, it's kind of a starter kit. And then I know that Tucker, for instance, I hooked them up with a printing company that we use that prints brochures fairly cheap, because I know that the Tucker Club is, giving out, I think, thousands of their brochures. My club is giving out thousands of brochures, but we'll help you. We'll help you get one if you want it. But now, one thing you do have to do is I will send you these samples, and then what I'm going to ask you to do is to give me the information. I can't make it up for you. So, like, for instance, you would give me the history. You don't have to write it all out. You would give me the history of your club, and then I would put together a brochure, because it includes a brochure. It includes flyers. It includes thank you cards. It includes the banner and all those kind of things. And you just tell me what you want on it, and then we will do our best to make it work. And then you'll get approval of it before anything is produced. But, if you want one of those kits and want to know what's in it, I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Nick, for all your insight. You're the man.
Yeah.
Well,
Great job in putting this together and great presentation. We take it. Thanks everybody for being on the call, and we need everybody's help to get the word out.
Yep. Okay, I'll be in touch, Bruce. Okay.
hey, thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good night.
Thank you, Brenda, for doing this.
All
Appreciate it.
right. Thank you for your
Bye-bye.
help too. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.